Hello, everyone. This is Professor Kim Mansu, a historian. Today, I want to share something quite different. Idols and shamans, they sound like opposites, don't they? But when I watched Daehun, I was astonished. The dance, the music, the voice. It wasn't just a performance, it was a ritual. Like the echo of an ancient gut ceremony. I could feel my spirit tremble. This isn't a concert, I whispered. This is a sacred rite. Have you seen Daehun? In the opening scene, three figures appear, singing to heal the world and drive out evil. At that moment, I realized this was not fantasy, but a rebirth of shamanism. Western audiences saw only spectacle. But for us, it was a thousand-year-old story. That melody was a sori, the voice of a shaman. That dance a salpuri, releasing human sorrow. The shaman's bells have become microphones now. And it struck me Daehun is not K-pop. It's K-shamanism reborn. We're witnessing not a K-wave, but a soul wave flowing from Korea to the world. This isn't just pop culture, it's a historical return. Our roots are awakening before our eyes. So tonight, let me reveal the hidden code. Inside Daehun's mythic world. Stay with me, and if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, you won't want to miss this story. The film begins with three voices chanting together. That song is not mere music, it's an incantation. Cure the evil, heal the world with sound. This is the very essence of our native faith, Muism. Long ago, Korean shamans sang with drums. Their rhythm could calm pain and lift sorrow. It was both medicine and music, a bridge between heaven and humanity. And today, idols are doing the same. They heal people with rhythm and voice. You might call it entertainment, but I see it as a modern-day gut ritual. The stage lights fall like sacred light from the sky. The fans' cheers feel like divine energy descending. The idols become singing shamans, and the audience becomes one sacred community. That's the true power of K-pop. Not fame or choreography, but spiritual rhythm. When we listen, we enter a collective ceremony, a moment of shared healing and emotion. Daehun is not just a film, it's the revival of our forgotten ritual. The spirit of our ancestors breathes through sound again. What moves the world is not technology or money, it's the rhythm of the soul. We are living in an age where sound heals the world. That, my friends, is the message of Daehun. In Daehun, three shamans appear at the beginning. They stand in a circle of light, each facing a different direction. To most viewers, it feels symbolic, but to me, it is ancient truth. Three, the sacred number in our culture, the rhythm of life. In our old beliefs, the universe is woven by three forces: heaven, earth, and humanity in harmony. The shamans embody this trinity, each a bridge between worlds. Their song binds these three realms into one circle of sound. You can see it in their dance: three steps, three turns, three beats. It is not choreography, it is ritual mathematics of the soul. Our ancestors called this the three-god faith, the root of creation. Heaven gives spirit, earth gives body, human gives meaning. Look closely, and you'll find another sign: the spiral. That swirling pattern behind them is no mere design. It is the Samtaeguk, the triple spiral of life energy. It turns clockwise and counterclockwise like breath itself. Even their weapons carry totemic symbols. The bow they draw is the ancient Make Gung of Goguryeo. To shoot an arrow in ritual meant to pierce evil and release good. Every movement of those heroes echoes a forgotten faith. Western critics might call it fantasy design. But I see the living remnants of our totem culture. The deer, the hawk, the tiger motifs, they are our ancestral emblems. Each totem was a guardian spirit that walked with our people. When the film's three shamans move in unison, I hear the ancient drums of the North Manchurian plain. It's as if our tribes have returned through cinema, telling the world once more who we truly are. Daehun is not just K-pop mythology. It is a totemic resonance awakening our collective memory. Three voices, one soul, infinite light. That is the hidden geometry of our heritage. In the middle of Daehun, a great tree appears. Its roots spread wide, its branches reach to the stars. Most viewers see beauty, but I saw a revelation. That tree is the Shindansu, the divine tree of our myths. In the Dangun legend, the heavenly prince descends. Beneath the sacred tree on Mount Taebaek, it is the place where heaven meets earth, where spirit takes form and light becomes life. For thousands of years, Koreans prayed under such trees. We called them Dangnamu, the village's living altar. Tied with golden ropes, covered with white papers, they carried the wishes of mothers and warriors alike. The director once said he was inspired by Jeju's ritual trees. When I heard that, I smiled. He had found the root. Those trees are not decoration, they are channels of the divine. Every breeze that moves their leaves carries ancestral breath. In Daehun, that same wind blows through the scene. Light falls like a blessing, voices rise like prayers. The heroes receive their calling beneath the branches, just as shamans once received the oracle of heaven. It reminded me of the Tree of Souls in Avatar, but this time it was unmistakably Korean. Our tree is not fantasy, it is memory. It still stands in our villages, though few now remember. When I saw that scene, I felt both pride and longing. We have always believed that every being is connected. human nature and spirit woven through one root. That is the wisdom our ancestors left us beneath the tree. Kadehan made the world see that again. Through a single cinematic tree, our ancient cosmos breathed once more on screen, and under its shade the old light descended again upon us. In Kadehun, the heroes' weapons glimmer like relics, yet each of them echoes something older, our ritual tools. The sword, the mirror, the bell, these are not props. They are mugu, the sacred instruments of the shaman. The sword cuts through unseen darkness. The mirror reflects the truth of one's spirit, and the bell awakens the sleeping gods. 3 tools, 3 powers, 1 faith? When the hunter draws his blade on screen, I see the same gesture my ancestors made in ceremony. Not to wound, but to separate good from evil. To restore harmony with one decisive motion. Notice, too, the bow that shines in the first battle. That is the Mek Gung, the legendary bow of Goguryeo. To shoot it was to seal a vow with the heavens. Every arrow flew with the prayer of an entire tribe. In the film, those arrows pierce shadows of corruption. But symbolically, they pierce karma, the spiritual knots of mankind. This is what our shamans meant by pulam, the untying of grudges. Violence is transformed into purification through sound and motion. Even the hum of their weapons carries resonance. Listen closely, the clang becomes rhythm, rhythm becomes chant. It is as though the weapons themselves remember the ritual. Metal singing to spirit, echoing our forgotten music. When the final chord strikes, light bursts like a ritual spark. In that moment, cinema and ceremony merge. What you see as an action scene is, in truth, exorcism, a cleansing of the collective soul through image and sound. That is why I call them weapons of the spirit. They fight not with blood but with awakening. Through them, Kadehun revives an ancient truth. That art itself was once a sacred tool for healing the world. Among all symbols in Kadehun, one shines brightest. The Golden Gate, called Huanmen in the story. At first glance, it looks like a portal of fantasy. But to me, it is the mirror of our golden heritage. Gold has always been more than metal for our people. It was the color of light, of divine radiance, of life itself. While China cherished jade, we worshipped gold. Because gold, like sunlight, never decays. From Buyo to Goguryeo, the northern kingdoms glittered. Our warriors wore golden crowns shaped like trees of heaven. They believed light was not to be owned, but to be shared. Each crown was a prayer for harmony between sun and earth. The Golden Gate in Kadehun is that ancient light reborn. When the heroes pass through it, they transcend the human realm. It is the threshold between darkness and awakening, a passage that only the enlightened spirit can cross. In our mythology, that gate stands at the border of worlds, the doorway where shamans meet the souls of the departed. To enter it means to die symbolically and be reborn in truth. To emerge golden is to become pure, radiant, and whole. This golden symbolism reaches deep into our identity. Even the word Beidel, the ancient name of our nation, means the bright mountain, the land of shining light. We are in essence a people of illumination. So when Kadehun sings of the Golden Gate, it is not about treasure or power, but spiritual return. It tells us the highest gate is not made of gold, but of wisdom, the golden light within our hearts. Through this gate, our ancestors' vision travels again. From the step to the screen, from myth to melody. And as the world watches, that golden light spreads, reminding us all that enlightenment was always Korean in hue. As Kadehun reaches its climax, all voices gather on one sacred mountain, Namsan. To many, it's just a location in Seoul. But to us, it is a spiritual axis, a guardian peak. Namsan is not simply South Mountain. In ancient geomancy, it is Mokmyongsan, the living wood that shields the capital's spirit. It stands where sky and earth whisper together. In Old Seoul, 4 mountains formed a sacred cross. Each guarded a direction, each carried a divine essence. Namsan, the southern guardian, symbolized life and renewal. It was our city's heart, the pulse of spiritual soul. So when Kadehun ends upon Namsan, that is no random choice of scenery. It is a deliberate return to the mountain of prayer, the stage of ritual rebirth at civilization's center. The vast stadium that appears there, though imagined, recalls the ancient Dangsan grounds, where shamans once danced beneath the moon, calling for rain, peace, and forgiveness. Fans rush to the mountain, lights in hand, modern torches echoing ancient offerings. Their chants rise like mantras, their phones glow like candles. The concert becomes a gut, a national exorcism of despair. The idols, or shall I say shamans, stand before the crowd as voices of purification. They are no longer performers, but mediators, bridging human chaos with divine harmony. And as the song crescendos, Namsan trembles with sound. It is not destruction, but transcendence. The mountain absorbs our pain and releases it as light. That, my friends, is Korea's oldest belief. Mountains do not divide, they heal. In that final scene, cinema, ritual, and faith converge. The modern skyline fades into sacred silence. For a moment, Seoul remembers its soul. And the mountain, as always, stands still watching, forgiving. In the world of Daehan, the idols are more than stars. They are vessels, bridges between people and the unseen. Their music does not merely entertain, it transforms. That is the essence of the shaman's role, reborn in rhythm. Long ago, shamans were not outcasts, they were leaders. They healed, advised, and carried the voices of the gods. In every village, the Mudang stood at the center of life, singing of rain, love, and destiny under the open sky. Today, idols stand beneath dazzling lights instead of moons. Their microphones replace drums, their stages replace shrines. But the purpose remains hauntingly the same: to unite hearts, to give meaning, to offer release. When a crowd sings along, thousands breathing as one, that is no different from the ancient trance of ritual. The collective heartbeat becomes prayer, and the melody, once digital, becomes divine. I have seen fans weep at concerts, not out of sadness but purification. In those tears I recognize something sacred, the cleansing that comes when music touches the soul. Our ancestors called it Hanpuri, the untying of sorrow. The idols, knowingly or not, perform this ancient rite. They absorb emotion, pain, and longing, and return them as harmony and hope. This is why the world listens to Korean sound. It is not just catchy, it carries centuries of empathy. Beneath the beat lies an old prayer: let every heart find peace through song. So when I say idols are the new shamans, I do not mean it as metaphor alone. I mean they have inherited a forgotten calling, to heal through beauty, to guide through sound. And perhaps that is why Daehan moves us so deeply, because in it we recognize ourselves. Modern, yet ancient, rational, yet spiritual, singing once again to the gods within. When Daehan spread beyond Korea, I watched how foreign audiences reacted. They were amazed, yet uncertain, sensing something sacred. They saw beauty but could not name its source. To them it was exotic, perhaps mysterious art. But to us it was memory, our own reflection. The rhythm they called mystical is our mother's lullaby. The gestures they called ancient are our morning greetings. Western critics spoke of symbolism and myth. But what they truly witnessed was living spirituality, a light that never died, only slept beneath centuries. And now, through music and film, it rises again. Our ancestors never separated the sacred from the daily. For them, a song was a prayer, a meal, a communion. That is why even today our culture feels soulful, because we still carry the light of that worldview. When I read overseas reviews calling it transcendent, I smiled. They were meeting our spirit for the first time. They did not understand the words, but they felt the pulse. Because truth, when sung, needs no translation. This is the quiet victory of Daehan. It made the world feel Korea's spirituality. Without preaching, without doctrine, only art. Light disguised as melody, wisdom wrapped in rhythm. I realized then that globalization can mean remembrance. Not losing oneself, but rediscovering one's voice in others. And perhaps this is what our ancestors meant when they said, spread brightness to all directions. The world doesn't yet know the name of that brightness, but they feel it in our songs, in our stories, in our souls. The forgotten light of Korea has begun to shine again, illuminating not the past, but humanity's shared heart. Would you like me to continue with page 10, the Dance of Healing movement, as prayer next? Naimai. Taum. Every culture has its sacred gestures, but in Korea, movement itself was always divine. To dance was to breathe with heaven. To move was to speak the language of spirits. In Daehan, every step carries that inheritance. The choreography is not random design. It mirrors the Salpuri, the dance of release. Each motion unbinds sorrow and invites renewal. Watch how the performers turn 3 times. That spiral is no coincidence, it's cosmology. 3 turns to cleanse the past, present, and future, then 1 stillness to let the spirit return to center. Their arms rise like the branches of Shindan-su. Their feet strike like drums calling ancestors home. Between rhythm and silence, the body prays. Even without words, the soul understands. Our ancestors believed the universe dances. Wind, water, flame all move to a sacred beat. The human body merely joins that eternal rhythm, becoming both instrument and offering. In modern concerts, the same pulse awakens. Spotlights flicker like ritual fires of old. Crowds sway together, bound by invisible rhythm. This is not frenzy, it is communion. Movement becomes meditation. Gesture becomes invocation. Through dance, emotion becomes energy, and energy returns as peace. That is why Korean performance feels spiritual. It does not demand belief, it invites presence. It says simply, move and you will remember. For in motion, healing begins quietly, completely. People often ask me, Professor, isn't Daehan just fiction? And I tell them every myth was once called fiction too. But myths are not lies, they are memories speaking in symbols. And Daehan is one such memory, newly awakened. In ancient Korea, myth was never separate from life. The story of Dangun was not entertainment, it was identity. It told us who we were, why we were born beneath light, and how heaven and earth could live within us. Now, modern media has become our new altar. Films, songs, and screens are today's temples of imagination. Through them, old